I'm Will Carr, and I'm here to fire you up. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Will Carr. This is the Will Carr Speaks podcast. We have another amazing episode for you guys here today. I've got Scott Miller with me here, of Evergreen Jiu-Jitsu, UFC fighter, black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, and owns your own gym, coach. And so we're just going to get into some things, talk about fighting, talk about Jiu-Jitsu, talk about being a small business owner, maybe talk about how awesome it is to live in the mountains, just get into life. So how you doing today, Scott?
Good. Thanks for having me. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year. It's 2026 is going to be an awesome year, I think.
Yeah. I feel that too. Yeah.
What are your going into 2026? What are your goals? What are your thoughts?
I'm doing a bunch of stuff. I got my own gym, like you said, up in Evergreen. I coach UFC fighters down in Inglewood, and then I've started kind of like Anthony Bourdain style travel show. I traveled to a few different gyms. Traveled to a lot of different gyms over the years, doing seminars. I have like affiliate schools, meaning they're like underneath me. They're like old students of mine that went and started school in Tennessee or Kansas or wherever. So I do like a bit of a travel martial arts show that I just kind of started up. So I'm excited.
Cool.
Excited to do that.
Yeah. Tell me more about the show. You already recorded some episodes.
Yeah.
Is it more just in like thought stage right now? Tell me where you're at and where it's headed.
I've got 3 episodes right now, one in LA, one in Kansas, and one in Tennessee. So kind of all over the place. I kind of, I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu since 2008. So quite a while now. So I've kind of met a lot of friends and people in the community that have moved other places. So it's kind of fun to go to their gym, check out their gym, spotlight their gym, see what makes them different. It's, it is like a restaurant, where it's like different types of styles, culture, vibe. So I try to get that same sort of thing with the gym where I go, I travel, I check out the culture of the gym, what makes it special. The owners are always like, usually if you own a martial arts studio, you kind of have some sort of backstory to you, right? That's interesting. Right. Maybe you were, a UFC fighter. I have buddies that own gyms that were UFC fighters, they, other colored past, should I say. So people that own gyms, and then like the culture of the town and the place as well, and the food scene and all that stuff. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
So the show, it gets into more than just the gym. It's the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the whole lifestyle of the people that live there and go there, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I spotlight the gym for sure, and then the owner for sure, because usually, like I say, they're friends of mine. Yeah. Really close friends of mine. So I know them well, and they all have stories of their own. And then the town and the culture around the gym. So,
well, have you done one on Evergreen yet?
Not yet. No. I'm gonna have to do a hometown one for sure.
Yeah, I want to be a part of that one.
Okay,
brother.
Sounds good.
Love Evergreen. Huge shout out to Evergreen, Colorado. The home of Frosty the Snowman. Did you know that?
No, is it?
Yes.
Really?
So in the original Frosty the Snowman movie, it says town Evergreen.
No kidding.
And it's Evergreen.
I never
Colorado.
noticed that. My daughter loves that cartoon, so we watch it. We just watched it.
Yeah,
but
the one that you see every Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
It says you're in Evergreen.
I need to pay attention to that.
So it doesn't say Evergreen, Colorado, but
we know what it means.
Oh yeah,
we know what it means.
Has to be.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I always say Evergreen's the most famous unfamous town.
Yeah,
we have. We've got the Little Bear Bar, down on the downtown strip too, and it's the most mountain scenic little spot, but we don't get hit with all the tourists.
Yeah, it's not like an Aspen or a Vail or a Breckenridge or Telluride or something like that.
We don't ever want it to be.
Yeah, true. It's beautiful. It's perfectly located.
Park.
It's close to the city, so if you want to do the city stuff, that's why I settled in Evergreen, because I was living in the Denver area for a long time and coaching and teaching at a couple different gyms down in Denver area, mostly professional fighters, UFC fighters. That was what I really did for a lot of years. And then it was time, once 2020 hit and the pandemic hit and things started to go wild a little bit in the city, I was like, I need I need to get out of here. And I was having a kid. And so moved up to Evergreen. And I had been through all those little communities, Bailey, Conifer, Evergreen, even Fair Play, even up kind of this way, Wonderview and Netherland, all those places. But Evergreen was by far my favorite. I just liked the community, and I liked the atmosphere a lot. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna settle here, and this is where I want to be, because it's a beautiful place. It's got an interesting mixture of people too.
It does.
Yeah,
it does. Well, when we started the show, you said that you're all these fighters and these gym owners and stuff, they have interesting stories.
Yeah.
So, because to get into fighting, jiu-jitsu, UFC, any of this stuff, it takes a special type of person and a special type of mindset. So let's get into your stories.
Okay.
Scott. Like, what got you into fighting? What got you into jiu-jitsu? And how did you ultimately end up becoming a coach and
I think
fighter yourself?
Yeah. I think about this sometimes. I'm like, how sometimes just life leads you ways where you're like, how did I end up here doing what I'm doing? But I've always loved martial arts or wrestling or even pro wrestling, any of that stuff. I grew up with 2 older brothers that wrestled, and they were significantly 5 years and 11 years older than me. So they always like beat up on me. So I had no chance, dude. And so I always want to like be able to defend myself and not have to like, take their shit, So I really I wrestled from the time I was like 6 years old. Okay. I wrestled in high school. I wrestled in college a couple years. And then I was like lost kind of in life, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I'd been to college and it was okay, but I didn't find any interest there that I was like, man, this is really what I want to do. So I moved to Denver because it was the closest place at that time with jiu-jitsu for me, because I'm from a small town in Kansas.
Okay.
1,200 people, very small little town.
I grew up in town 1,600, so you got me beat, but
I'm
sure it's not
you get
much
it
different.
though. Yeah, it's not much. Yeah. So I moved to Denver, not knowing what I was going to do, other than like I knew I wanted to train, and I didn't know what route that was, whether it was going to be like actual fighting or just jiu-jitsu. I just stuck with jiu-jitsu. I never did any MMA fighting. I always practiced with those guys and trained with those guys. I learned kickboxing, but jiu-jitsu and grappling has like always been my passion. And I got really good really fast because I'd been wrestling for 15 years up until that point. And then when I was 15, I remember going to like a bookstore, Hastings bookstore, movies. They had movies and books. And I bought a book from Ken Shamrock, who's a legendary UFC fighter, right? And especially at that time, he was a big deal. And then I bought some UFC DVDs, and I was like crazy into it. And I started practicing the techniques. I just would like try to convince any friend that I could, like, hey, let me put you in this arm lock. And I'd be like, what are you doing, So I've just always kind of loved martial arts, and just had an appreciation for it. Big fan of Bruce Lee and all the great martial artists. So and then I moved to Denver, and kind of the rest is history. I've had a kind of a weaving path there of training and teaching at different gyms and stuff. So and finally it was just time to start my own thing and kind of like do more of what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Well, do you feel like, is what you enjoy the most the actually doing it, or and is coaching kind of more so the way that you turn it into a business?
There's nothing more fulfilling than coaching. I will say that when you compete, it's just like a selfish kind of endeavor.
Yeah.
And it has to be, you have to be selfish. Like it's all about you. The coach should be there kind of at your beck and call a little bit. And that's how I am. I'm the coach. I'm like, I got to be there for whatever the guy needs, emotionally or physically, whatever. If he needs a training partner, if he needs, pepped up or talked to, or we need a game plan or whatever it is. You just got to be there for them, but it is very rewarding and fulfilling. And I coach all ages and all levels too. So I coach anybody from like literally a 4-year-old for the first day to a guy that fights for the title in the UFC. Yeah. So I have a wide range of people that I have taught and do teach. But I enjoy it. Yeah, I love it. I think that's the most fulfilling part is definitely when you're coaching, but I love training and I love the part where I get to train. Yeah.
Yeah. What got you into the TV show? Like, how did that transpire? Like,
I've been doing a lot of content. I have my YouTube and Instagram. I have a ton of jiu-jitsu techniques on there and like tips and tricks. Yeah. Stuff like that. And I've enjoyed that. And that's good because I do have I've got 30 years of grappling experience with wrestling and jiu-jitsu. So I've been doing it for so long and I'm just obsessed with it. That I like to put out like, oh, I learned this, or I've figured this out, and I like to give out that stuff, right? And then I also put out an instructional, like a instructional that you can buy on BJJ Fanatics, which is a huge library of martial arts instructionals of, could be kickboxing, could be wrestling, could be jiu-jitsu. And then I just kind of want to do something different, a little bit different. I'm a big fan of Anthony Bourdain. I've always liked the travel shows, and I travel so much that just one time I was like, why am I not like filming the whole kind of experience? One, it's a lot of work. Two, it's editing. So but I enjoy it, so it's like, why am I not filming this experience of me traveling to this place? Again, meeting the culture and vibe of the gym and the people there and also the town, I'm pretty grateful that I get to travel as much as I do and meet different people. And the martial arts community is specifically jiu-jitsu, but all of it really, they like wherever you are, you can find a gym nowadays. And like you're immediately kind of accepted into there, right? You immediately have something in common with them. You have a passion, especially, if I go in there and I teach or whatever, then they're like, it's a relationship. So, I started just honestly as like, I'm just going to do this for fun and as like a passion project sort of thing. Just like, I'm here. I might as well make the most of it, maybe it'll turn into something, maybe it won't, I don't know, but I enjoy it. And I also think it gives people an insight into like what the culture is of jiu-jitsu and fight gyms, because it does look intimidating from the outside. People would be like, oh, and there's definitely gyms with dudes that are super tough and they're crazy meatheads and stuff. But I kind of like that too. But most gyms are very welcoming, very friendly, very safe. Like, so I feel like it kind of shows that side of martial arts.
I think people don't realize that when you're in an MMA gym or UFC, these fighters, they save that for the ring. They save that for the mat. They're not just ready to fight everybody that walks up to them.
I saw you did a podcast recently with Jake Ramos. That was cool. But that's a good example of like
great examples.
You go into those places and you see like a Justin Gaethje or a Brandon Gertz or those guys that like they're the tough looking dudes. Super friendly. Very friendly. They're not trying to start a fight in the gym. They get paid to fight. That's when they're going to fight, Not saying they won't fight at a drop of the hat, but they're pretty chill and cool guys. Almost all fighters that I've ever met have been very friendly, very respectful.
Right. Well, it's like any type of athlete, when to turn it on and turn it off. Like, you're on when you're on the court, for example, or when you're on the field, when you're in the octagon, on the mat, like that's when you're on. And then when you're off, you're just like anybody else. It's, it's people have their celebrities and stuff that they like, right? I mean, we live in a celebrity culture where people, and now with social media and things, a celebrity can be anyone. Anybody can, get to that level of somewhat fame where you've got those fans. And it's like, people are just people, regardless of whether you are a super famous TV movie actor, or you're a super famous fighter, or you're, you play in the NBA or, whatever it may be that people idolize. Those people are still just normal people. But you probably get this being a big, tall guy. Everybody wants to see you dunk a basketball. I'm sure anytime you're around a basketball court or a basketball, I'm going to be like, I want to throw him. Go dunk this, dude. Can you dunk?
The
amount of times I get asked.
Of course you can.
I was on a ski chair a few days ago up at Loveland ski area here in Colorado. And I was sitting with these two kids. And by kids, I mean, I don't know, they're probably 20 or something,
Right,
you
right.
know? And they're like, wow, man, like you are so tall. How tall are you? I'm like, 6'11". They're like,
Yeah.
can you dunk a basketball? And I was like, no. And they're like, really? Like, I'm like, of course I
Yeah,
can
of
dunk a
course I can,
basketball.
yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
you knew the answer to that before you even asked. But
People do the same with fighters, though.
yeah.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, can you throw a head kick or can you kick that guy's ass?" You think I'm like, I hope I can.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty disappointed if I couldn't. It's like
Yeah.
asking you, can you play a random basketball player
Yeah.
or just our dude on the street? You think you could,
Right.
I hope I could beat him in a basketball game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's just fun. I don't,
Yeah.
I want to clarify there. I'm not ever like rude with people because
No.
I get that question.
Yeah.
I go to a lot of conferences. I do a lot of like business development type of networking events. Yeah. And it's always the question that I get.
Yeah.
And people will be like, does that get old? Like, I'm like, if my biggest problem in life is that people are like, how tall are you?
Yeah.
What's the weather like up there?
Yeah, for sure.
I just have fun with it. And one of my favorite stories I always like to tell is back in college and I still sometimes play this joke, but like there'd be like girls or something that'd be like, oh, are you like, are you on the basketball team here? Like, where? I'd be like, no, I play mini golf.
Yeah.
And I'd always say, I'm on the mini golf team.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, we have a mini golf team? No, I'm definitely messing with you. Like,
Yeah.
Yes, I play basketball.
Of course. Yeah.
When anytime you're getting a bunch of questions, like you gotta have fun with it.
For sure.
But yeah, man, let's talk a little bit about just mindset and training. Like what is your week? Walk me through kind of like what a typical week looks like for you. Is your and maybe not so much about training personally, but when you got your fighters and stuff that you're working with, like how do you try to lay out a week for them?
Yeah, you got to have some flexibility, that's for sure, because their week is always, fighting is tough, obviously. Injuries are prevalent. You always got to be in contact with your fighter and be like, what's your energy like today? What are you feeling today? How you doing? Like, because if they're dead that day and they don't have the energy to do an extra session with myself, then it's like, cool. Again, you got to be flexible and selfless. Like, cool, I'll meet you. I'll meet you on Thursday then. I won't meet you on Monday or whatever it is. So you have to have some flexibility and always just got to be ready to, again, be there for the guy in the ways that you can be there, I teach a lot of classes up at my place. Obviously, I'm there Monday through Friday typically. Mm-hmm. And then weekends, about every other weekend, I'm gone traveling to do a seminar. And then the show's called Mat Miles. It's just like in reference to jiu-jitsu mat or martial art mat, wrestling mat.
That's the name of the show you're making.
That's the name of the show. It's called
Mat
Mat Miles.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know if I love the name yet. I might change it, but it's a pretty decent name. But
it's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it.
So anyways, so usually on the weekends I'm doing that, like every other weekend. So during the week I work pretty hard. I'm doing classes in the evening, and then I'll do lessons during the day, and then I coach down at a gym called Factory X, which is one of the best fight gyms in Colorado. Few UFC fighters that train there. I coach there on Thursdays, and I try to get in there 2 to 3 days a week, depending on what my schedule's like. And then I coach at an affiliate school, one of my buddies' schools. It's called the Grapple House. Okay. It's in Littleton. So I'll teach there sometimes too. So during the days, I'm usually doing lessons, coaching down in the city, general city, Littleton, Inglewood, whatever. And then in the evenings, I'm up at my gym, running classes up there. So pretty busy schedule. I try to do as much as I can, and every week that I can, and again, try to have the flexibility to work around for other people's lessons and schedules and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned, if you don't feel like training on a certain day, we've got a mutual friend who would take a totally different perspective on that. The guy that introduced us, Nick Capandi.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Capandi, man. It's 14. Shout out to Nick.
Yes.
Love you, brother. And appreciate you for all that you've done for me. But Yeah, I mean, Nick does 14 workouts a week, man.
Yeah.
Like, never
Yeah.
takes a day off.
He's an animal.
The guy had hip surgery and was still there doing his workout a couple hours later.
Yeah, I think he missed like one class doing that. Maybe not even.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was still present on
Yeah.
the Zoom,
Yeah.
doing what he could,
Yeah.
even though he had just gotten out of surgery.
Well, he's a martial artist too, right?
Yeah.
He's a Taekwondo black belt, very legit black belt too. Nick is, and I've learned some, some kicks from him as well. And yeah, definitely a mentor on the business side and life side. He's just a great dude to learn from. But yeah, his work ethic it's hard to beat Nick's work ethic.
Yeah.
I try, I try.
Yeah, I mean, I think trying to beat Nick's work ethic is
It's
setting
not gonna
yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
if that's your bar.
Yeah.
I think, but to strive to be as close to that makes sense for you,
For sure.
I think is
Yeah.
the work-life balance that you need.
Jiu-Jitsu's hard on the body, no
Yeah.
doubt about it. It's okay to do it 2-3 times a week, but when I'm doing it twice a day, 5-7 days a week, really I train 6-7 days a week. I'm working, I'm doing something, right?
Yeah.
So it takes a toll. You got to have to I've learned, I'm getting a little bit older now. I'm not old by any means, but I've got a lot of miles on my body from doing this for 30 years, learning how to navigate injuries and learn how to just listen to your body and be like, okay, I need to chill. I can't do it, or I do have a session with a fighter and this guy's 185-pound fighter or 205, bigger than me, stronger, more athletic, younger, I'm like, I'm going to have to chill today so I can train with that guy tomorrow. And then I probably won't be doing anything the next day but teaching. So yeah, it's just, again, being flexible and kind of every day is like, okay, how am I feeling, or what's the thing this week? So
Yeah. So anything special you do for recovery, like to keep your body?
Oh, I try to do it all.
Shape,
yeah, I try to sauna,
Sauna's
cold.
huge.
Yeah, I prefer it over the cold plunge. I
Yeah.
hate the cold plunge. I do it. I like jumping in the river in Golden when it's cold out too. I say I like it, but I I just do it.
Right.
So that helps. And then diet and supplements and nutrition is probably the other thing that I try to really focus on and try to do. And then sleep. I think sleep is highly underrated. I think, especially me, I feel like, you're oversleeping, you're lazy, right? But I heard Khabib talk about this, about his secret power was sleeping. He would just, those guys train hard twice a day, and then they sleep as much as they can and eat and rest as much as they can. And that's what I've found, on big days for me, I sleep in, I don't do the 6 a.m. classes at my gym unless I have to. Sometimes I will, but I try to sleep as much as I can. That way I'm rested and recovered, and in a good warm up too, which I'm bad about sometimes as well. A good warm up, stretch, and then it's easy just to jump in because oh, I'm needed, I'm going to jump in. So I try to definitely just be a little more intelligent with my prehab, meaning stretching and diet and sleep, and then train, and then be smart in my training, and then also my rehab of I need to cool down, stretch, and then refuel in the proper way. So
no, I think stretching is probably the most underrated thing as far as recovery and really just taking care of our body in general.
Yeah.
Just to be limber and loose is maybe the most important thing.
I think so. Yeah.
And I think because it's so basic and simple, and it's everyone overthinks it. We want to talk about saunas. We want to talk about special biohacking ways to, infrared for our body. When really it's stretch. Stretch every day.
Exactly.
And whether you're whether you're a fighter or any type of athlete, or just, I think almost even for people that sit at a desk all day, stretching
100%. My dad, I stretched from an early age because my dad really stressed it.
Yeah.
We had this Olympian in this small town of Kansas. I wasn't born yet, but he would go to work. My dad would go to work and he'd see this Olympian hurdler. This guy that was I don't think he medaled in the Olympics by any means, but he was an Olympian. And when he would go to work, my dad would go to work in the morning. This guy would be stretching. My dad would come home for lunch. This guy would be stretching. my dad would go back to work for after lunch. This guy would be stretching. And he finally stopped one day and he's like, do you ever like run the hurdles? He's like, no, I spend most of my day out here like stretching. And he's like, oh, okay. So I think that like spurred him to like make all us boys and my sister, you know, like he really reinforced stretching to us. So I started stretching at a young age, and I wasn't like strong or athletic younger. I kind of bloomed late. So I had to use like my flexibility and like slickness in my brain to try to win wrestling matches. I wasn't like super strong by any means at that age. So just being flexible was part of my game and always has been like part of my game. Being able to just be a little bit unconventional and funky and flexible. So
because I don't really understand the difference. What would you say are the main differences between wrestling and jiu-jitsu?
So I would say jiu-jitsu is like wrestling with submissions.
Okay.
So the goal of wrestling is going to be to take the guy down and to pin him on his back, which is a pin is like the match is over.
Yeah, so you're not getting someone in a chokehold.
No chokes, no arm locks, no leg locks, nothing like that. Yeah, and jiu-jitsu is going to be like submission wrestling, basically. So I'm trying to choke the guy, arm lock him, leg lock him. Pinning is a part of jiu-jitsu, but it's just not, there's no points involved with a pin, you know?
Yeah.
You're looking for dominant positions, like that would be good in a real life situation where it's like, okay, I got past this guy's legs, so I don't have to worry about his legs anymore. Now I'm going to hold him down in a dominant position to where he's immobilized. He can't move, you know? So you're looking to immobilize the person in jiu-jitsu, break them, like break their will, break their arm, and then strangle them. And then the fight is over, right? As opposed to like wrestling's, you know, the goal is getting a takedown and then pinning the guy for the most part. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you're on bottom, you're trying to get out.
Okay. So there's no like arm bars or anything.
No submissions in wrestling. No. Okay. It gets physical for sure, but there's it's not based on submissions. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Have you ever actually broken anyone's arm or seen anyone's arm break?
Oh yeah. I just saw this kid in wrestling, in high school wrestling, just recently. Like this week, I saw this poor kid. He snapped his arm back like this. Yeah. I think it was just a dislocation. Okay. But he got slammed, and I've broken my right arm. I've broken my left collarbone. I've dislocated my knees. I got a bunch of. Most of those happened when I was young, though. I just got stronger and smarter on training and like knowing my limits. But
through jiu-jitsu, not even like actual UFC like fighting.
Yeah, just jiu-jitsu and wrestling. And the good thing about jiu-jitsu is that you can tap. So if you are in an arm lock, you can tap. It's usually just your ego that doesn't want to tap, right? I don't want to lose. So people, and I'm guilty of this as anybody, like not wanting to tap. Next thing you know, your arms hurt and whatever. But definitely in jiu-jitsu, people blow it. ACLs and stuff. This is at high competition though. Like in my gym environment, it's pretty safe, very hobbyist friendly, you know, and again, I teach people how to tap, and then knowing that's why I think the relationship with jiu-jitsu people is close, because I got to trust you. You got to trust me. Yeah. If I have your arm and I have the chance to break it, and maybe you don't know, you just started, like, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, hey, you should probably tap right now. And I give you just a little bit of pressure. So you start to, you know, the nerves start to fire, and you're like, oh, I better tap right now, you know? And the same with, you know, if I'm training with you and we get in a weird position, like, you know, to like, I'm just going to let a little pressure off. So you have to have a good dance partner that you trust with your body. And and you've got to trust vice versa. So, that's a big part of like, but you don't know what you don't know. So if you've never done jiu-jitsu, you're like, well, I don't know my limits and I don't know their limits. Yeah. So I don't know how far my arm can actually go. I've never done that before, you know? Yeah. Or my arm can crank back this way, or my leg, or whatever. So it's just kind of like learning the boundaries of your own self, and then learning the boundaries of other people. And like, that's why you can spar at 100% in jiu-jitsu, and that's a big benefit about it, because you can't really do that in kickboxing often. Brain damage is too serious. Yeah. You can't really in wrestling. It's tough to go 100% once you get past the age of 23 24 years old or 25 years old.
Yeah.
Like wrestling is just a younger man's game. So that's kind of one of the big benefits of jiu-jitsu, though. You can go 100% and you can tap and like, okay, good job. And then that's the other part of it too. It's a real ego killer where it's like, you think you're the toughest guy, or you think maybe not even you're the toughest guy. You think, oh, I feel like I would be fine or whatever, you know? And everybody gets submitted. Like I've been submitted, you know, by enough people, you know? It's just part of the deal, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like probably getting scored on in basketball.
Right.
It's going to happen.
Everyone's
I don't care how
yeah.
good you are, you know? Someone's going to get past you and score at some point.
I've
yeah.
even been dunked on. But I've done more dunking on than I've
There
been
you go. And that's
on.
what Matt's saying with jiu-jitsu. I'm subbed more people than I've been subbed. That's important, yeah.
Two questions that come to my mind. One, why is wrestling a younger man's sport, but jiu-jitsu is not?
My theory, which I think is true, is wrestling is just so much more dynamic. Like you start open and it's much more physical, where jiu-jitsu usually like you're clinched up already. So and it's mostly done on the ground, jiu-jitsu is, you know. So there's just a lot less dynamic movement possible when you're stuck together like that, when I'm like holding you. In wrestling, it's just like big, dynamic, explosive movements. In jiu-jitsu, it can definitely be that way, but just not nearly as much, you know, just because the nature, I think, of like clinching and being close to each other rather than like out here. There's definitely clinching and stuff in wrestling too, though. Yeah. But it's just less dynamic in nature.
How important is it to have a consistent partner that you train with?
Yeah, a good training partner is huge for sure. So again, that same, like I said, of being able to trust someone and they trust you, and you need 3 different training partners. You need somebody that you're better than, which again, when you're starting out, it's hard. Like, how am I going to find somebody I'm better than? I just started, right? Yeah. Somebody that you're better than, somebody that's as good as you, that will always like be kind of neck and neck or push, but maybe you're just a touch better than them, and then someone that's better than you, right? Okay. So you kind of want all 3. And that's the hard thing about jiu-jitsu. I think a lot of people get disheartened because they just start out. And you'd be an athletic dude, so you'd probably be pretty good right away. Yeah. But if you have no athleticism, no athletic background, and you're just starting jiu-jitsu, it's like you're going to have to be tough and like get past 4, 5, 6 months of training before you're going to start to see kind of the fruits of your labor. Yeah. So it's tough in the beginning because you're like, I'm not seeing any successes. My successes are me surviving. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Which isn't like a big success in your brain. You're like, I thought I'd be subbing people, and like, but once you get past that first 4, 5, 6 months, and like, oh, now this is fun. I caught a guy. Like the things I'm learning is starting to stick a little bit. So I kind of forgot your question. Sorry, dude.
That's all right. Next question. How much does it matter to train with someone similar size? Because I think of that, obviously I'm a huge guy. I'm 6'11", 290 pounds. Like, I assume like, you know, I could come into your gym and you could start teaching me things, but could I really even spar with
smaller people? Yeah, for sure. But it is important. That was your question, is training partners, which is that was the question you asked, which again is important. Like having somebody similar in size, similar in skill is definitely, like I said, having a good dance partner where you guys are helping each other grow. And again, I think that's part of the big bond of jiu-jitsu, where people really bond, is because like, I'm like training with this guy every day. We've made each other better. We've become friends because of it, you know. So you're all on this this goal of getting better with that person next to you, even though that you're battling each other and trying to get better than the other guy too. So it's kind of it's an interesting relationship, and it's probably the same as any like team sport, right? Jiu-jitsu is that, but I'm sure you had that in college or whatever. You had guys who are like, I kind of hate this guy, but I also love him because he makes me better and I respect him, but he's getting the better of me sometimes. So I've got to get the better of him, you know? So you get competitive, but in the friendly nature of like, he's still my teammate, but I want to beat him and get better. So, but definitely having people your own size can be important, but It's also important to train with people of various sizes too. And I have a lot of big guys, actually. I have 2 former college football players, Division I, that are big dudes. I've got a former college basketball player, Navy SEAL that's big. I got a lot of big guys.
Yeah.
I have like really big people and really small people at my gym. And then there's like, I'm one of the only average size people. It's weird. But it's also fun to train with people that are different size too, though, because they're doing different things to you. And you kind of have to learn like, oh, the way I treat one body type is not the way I can treat this body type. Like I'm going to have to like smash and put weight on this person. And on this person, I'm going to have to be a little like floaty. And like, if they push away, I just kind of float to the next thing. So that's kind of what makes it the art too, you know, of like adjusting to body types, philosophies, like someone's personal style, you know, and their built-in attributes, you know, that they already have, maybe strength or flexibility or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. There's because it's something that's always been interesting to me. I've taken a couple boxing classes, like but there's something very very primal about the jiu-jitsu or fighting or any of that. Like it's very much real world practical in the sense, I think, especially as a man, you want to feel that ability to not just defend yourself, but to be able to defend anyone that you're around. Yeah. And as a big guy, I mean, for the most part, I feel like, you know, but I have no training. I can fight about anybody. You know, unless you have like very special training or, you know, I never feel unsafe in any type of environment.
Right.
But even as someone as large as me, I don't have that training.
Right.
And then so someone that is more like a normal size, to be able to have that type of confidence to know in any type of environment, you can not just defend yourself, but defend anybody that, you know, needs defending.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's kind of why a part of the reason why, like I said, I had 2 older brothers that picked on me and beat me up when I was a kid. They were pretty nice, but they were pretty ruthless as well. So I wanted to learn how to defend myself. So I was like, I don't have to put up with it, you know, with being bullied, you know? I never wanted to be bullied. I didn't like it. And and then also, you know, you have a kid, I have a daughter, you know, so it's like once you, especially a daughter, I feel like you get even more protective and even more like on alert. And like, I really have to be able to defend myself and my daughter and the people that I love around me, you know?
Right.
So that's definitely part of it for sure. But luckily, very knock on wood, very rarely in life do you come into a situation, especially if you're in the right atmosphere.
Right.
Where like
you put yourself in the right
I'm
situations.
not probably going to get in a fight at Barnes and Nobles, you know, but if I go downtown Denver, like someone might do something, you know, and I think it also takes away some of the internal, for me, like temper and anger that we all have part of us. It takes that away because I'm getting it out. Like you said earlier, we're going to battle in the gym and then I'm super chill afterwards. It's like somebody cuts me off, somebody flips me off. I don't care at all. I'm like, I kind of laugh it off and whatever, you know? So it gets rid of the edge inside of you. I think that only few workouts can really, I feel like, get rid of that edge inside of you, you know?
Definitely.
Maybe like a hard run or maybe like CrossFit or something like that. That's something that's really hard and physical.
Yeah. Well, because I think, you know, you can do workouts that will make your body tired and get out energy. Yes. But that type of edge that you're talking about, you know, you can't run a marathon and still it's not the same.
It's not the same as
grappling and fighting.
Exactly.
With
like, well, I already fought a guy earlier and I did just fine. And then you're like, well, even if I was to get in a fight, it would be not fun for me because it would be too easy probably. You know, where it's like fighting a child or something where it's like this person has no skills at all. I have no interest in that. I want to fight somebody that's like challenging and good, you know? But it's been a long time since I've been in any street altercations, probably.
Have you been in some?
A couple. They were very quick and brief. Yeah. And they were really before I even started training.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say, were they earlier in life?
Yeah, like, one of them was I had been training, and that lasted like literally 5 seconds. It was over.
Okay.
And I just walked away from the situation. But it was, you know, it was in a silly situation, you know. It was like, I shouldn't have done that or even been in this bar or whatever I was doing, you know. But
yeah.
You know, when you're young.
Right. I think all the situations I've been in when I've had to be in a few altercations, it's funny, as a big guy, you know, and you're in a place where alcohol or something is involved.
People are going to want to, you're a
They'll
target.
be the small guy that's just like, you know, and it's just like, please just go home and beat your head against the wall, dog.
Yeah.
Like, you know, why? Leave me alone. Like, I'm trying to just hang out with my friends or whatever.
Exactly.
You know, I'm here, and they're like, for some reason, feel like they need to show that they're the big guy in the room.
Right.
Like, no, man, like, just please do your own thing. But yeah, it never has lasted very long. But, you know, it's interesting because it's nothing that you really want. And then the other thing is, you really only find yourself in those situations. And I would say in life, 95% of the time, if you're somewhere where alcohol is involved.
Exactly. 100%.
You know, if you don't put yourself in a situation where you're at the bar or you're at some club, you know, it's not like, as you said, Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
It's not, the small guy's not walking up to me at Barnes and Noble trying to prove that he's bigger than me.
Yeah.
It's when I was in college out at the club.
Exactly.
You know, having a few drinks.
Ace High or whatever. Yeah.
You know, yeah. Golden. The Ace High Tavern. Yeah. Shout out to downtown Golden there. That's the dive bar of dive bars.
It's a good one. I like it. I haven't been there forever, but yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long time. Since I've been there as well. Probably, I don't think I've been there since I was.
Oh, really? I was there a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I don't think I've been there since I was a student at School of Mines in Golden. You know, it's probably the last time.
It's an eclectic crowd. You have like old bikers and young college kids and like grandmas and like you'll see one of everybody there. But everybody's having a good time and having fun though. So.
Yeah, it's good. Well, yeah, man. I mean, any like final thoughts you want to share on like what you got going on this year and what you're excited about? Or
I think the Matt Miles project and my YouTube. You know, you can go to my YouTube if you do jiu-jitsu and martial arts.
Yeah.
Or even if you're interested in it, hopefully you'll get some good out of it. It's Scotty Jiu-Jitsu on YouTube, Scotty Jiu-Jitsu on Instagram as well. But just trying to have fun, keep doing what I'm doing, and you know, travel, meet new people.
Yep.
You know, just keep on having fun, and then living life, man. So that's kind of my goals.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No matter what it is you're doing, at least for me, meeting new people, having conversations, just getting to know people better in a more like real personal way.
Yeah.
Is probably my biggest goal for 2026.
Yeah.
You know, it's just continuing to have fun conversations and actually get to know people.
Yeah. You get so much knowledge and wisdom, right? When you have a conversation with somebody from a different part of life or whatever, you know, most of the people I run into are obviously they do martial arts, but the cool thing about a jiu-jitsu gym is like, I have people from all walks of life that train with me. I have, you know, cops and firemen and, you know, maybe the local drug dealer. Like I have all sorts of unique people that train with me that are in families and stuff that I come across in life that I would never come across in life otherwise. But I think it's just such a good community because of that reason where it's like there's no right or left political stuff. It's just like we're all doing this together and getting better together and just you know, that's what I appreciate about the jiu-jitsu and martial arts community. So,
yeah. Well, it's going to be an awesome year in 2026. I'm excited for it. You already shared where people can find you.
Yeah.
And so this was fun, Scott. Thanks for coming in and having a conversation with me. And we'll have to do it again sometime.
Absolutely. Thanks, dude.
Absolutely.
Thanks, brother.
See you, brother.
Yeah.
I'm Will Carr, and I'm here to fire you up.